Hi, my name is Pat Flannery. I've spent a lifetime in sports for probably 60 years as a player, as a coach, and as a fan like many of you. I've been asked a lot of times about what goes into coaching, what goes into sports, what's it like when people are sitting in the stands and what they're viewing, what they're looking at on TV. So let's share a little bit today. First of all, you have to talk about recruiting if you're talking about any sports. You have to talk about players at any sport, whether it's the sixth grade soccer, the high school, the college, the pro. You're as good as you're going to be with the people that are performing. In this case, in recruiting where I was, you wanted to recruit to your culture. You wanted to recruit to the style of play. You want to recruit to the school that you're at. So kids fit in and are the happiest when they're playing for good people, they're playing for a good program, and they want to be there and they want to play hard for you. So I think every situation that you run into is a little bit different, and every level is a little bit different. So let's talk a little bit now about preseason. Preseason lasts about 6 months in many sports. Maybe it lasts 9 months before you get to play. Preseason is all about putting your kids in every situation they could possibly come into when the game starts, which is where we're going to get to. And this is for all teams. You keep developing. You develop as individuals. You develop as a team. You want to keep getting better at the things that you're executing. That's what allows a team to reach their full potential. Preseason is really where the sausage is made, real early in the year. What we see is the final product in the game. But every night in that gym, on that field, in the arena, is where kids are getting better. Players are, guys, gals, all of them are working to get as good as they can so when the lights go on for game day, they're ready to play. Let's talk a little bit about game day. Game day is an interesting time for everyone. Coaches, players, probably many fans. You got people driving to the games. And coaches and players, they're big into routine. Usually what you eat, when you eat, where you eat, how you get to the gym, whether you're walking the same route, or whether you're wearing the same clothes. Players are pretty routine oriented. So pregame, you better believe that that's going on while you're heading to the gym. In addition to that, the game itself, as you're viewing a game, in any baseball, soccer, basketball, it's a game of adjustments. You go in with a plan, you go in with maybe a script of what you want to do, how you want to do it, and then all heck breaks loose and you have to pivot. You have to go to something else. You have to be able to change your substitutions. You got to be able to change the spirit of what's going on. You have to adjust to the officials. You have to adjust to the score, the situation. What I'd recommend is when you're watching games, don't just watch the ball. Watch what's going on in some of the benches. You'll see the interaction. You'll see the conversation. You could actually tell whether probably a team is up or a team is down. The good ones you never know. The good teams you never know, because they don't change who they are. They constantly do the things that are most important in a game, and that's effort, that's outcome, is certainly what it pertains to, and the performance each individual has as they fit into the team. So watch that bench. The other thing that's important in a game is late game situations. So many people talk about late game situations in the sense of, well, they won it on that shot. They won it on this play. They won it on that kick. And that's really not the case. That's what we talk about. But really, it was made during the other 40 minutes, the other 30 minutes, when there was execution and there were things going on during the course of the game. So I encourage you, as you're watching the game, to watch those things that are developing there. Because I know, as a coach, that those adjustments and those movements during the game, they were the things that ultimately allowed the outcome. But remember what I said. The work started way before that game started. Always remember that. One area that you would really enjoy if you ever get to experience is a post-game. If you have kids that are playing, try to get around to hear what the coach is saying after a ball game. Or if you're in college and your kids are playing, try to get invited into a locker room. Post-game is where so much of the teaching goes on that allows you to go to the next game to be able to improve on your kids. It goes a lot of different ways. Sometimes you didn't play well. Kids know when they didn't play well. Teams know when they didn't play well. Sometimes they played really well, and you let them celebrate a little bit, and you kind of just let it go, and you talk to them the next day. But I always thought it was a great teachable moment. Whatever happened in that game, You as the coach have to evaluate, see what hangs, because a lot of times that is the most powerful time that you can have with certain players, especially depending on how they played. Even if it's a good game, patting them on the back, maybe it's not such a good game and it's a teachable moment. Other times you let it go, you get out of there, and you say we get back to work the next day. So if you ever get a chance in post-game, it's really a great time to be able to experience sports at its finest. The last thing I'd like to talk to you about a little bit is I mentioned about watching a game. Most games have halves or have innings or whatever. The adjustments that happen at these halftimes are things that are going on based on what happened on the floor. You may, in my game, you had foul trouble. So you had to adjust accordingly to somebody that might have been in some trouble. Maybe they weren't as aggressive because they didn't want to get their fourth foul. You have to evaluate that. You have to count on your staff. Each one of your staff members, if you see these guys with clipboards and these gals that have these things in their hand that they're charting, they're all done for a reason. It's all done for a purpose. It's done to see how many possessions you have, which way you scored, probably in soccer where you're getting your kicks from, probably in baseball, what kind of velocity for the pitchers. All of those things that you see people when you're sitting there and you're watching or you're talking to Pop next door or you're talking to your daughter, everybody that has one of them has a job to do. And that job is to put the team in the best place you possibly can to be able to beat your opponent. The opponent is also doing that. That's what makes the game. That's why you never know the outcome. From the beginning to end, favored, not favored, superior, not as superior, that's what games are all about. That's why you never know about the outcome. I would tell you to enjoy the game. There's nothing like it. As I said, 60 years in sports, I don't know anything better. Good luck to your team. And what I would say to you all is all the best wherever you're playing, wherever your kids are playing, wherever your families are playing. But let's get outside real soon and go see some games. Thank you.